now I really just do feel so aligned with my prices. I'm just like, hell yeah, this is what I'm charging, and I can't wait to raise them even more.
Okay, hello, Chelsea. So
Hello.
I just want you to go ahead and share a little bit about your story and like some of the challenges you were kind of working through, like what wasn't working before we came to coaching together.
Yeah, so I was working on building it up a coaching business. Um, this was back in December of 2019. I had just graduated my like life coach training program and was trying to build up my coaching business. But like the reason I reached out to Lexi initially was because I felt like I was personally out of integrity, or like not totally out of integrity, but I just felt like I wasn't fully embodying my message, that I wasn't fully like doing all the practices that I was telling my clients to do. I was wanting also to stop drinking entirely, because that was part of me being in integrity with my message.
Mhm.
And I also was just having trouble like being consistent at all. Like, oh, I think during our first call, she looked at my Instagram feed and she's like, "You haven't posted since November," like early November. So it was like 2 months. I could not stay consistent on Instagram. And partly, I think the reason why was because I was feeling out of alignment with my message, out of integrity. So I like really wanted a coach to help bring me into my own integrity so that I could feel really good about showing up online for others. So yeah, before we actually started working together, I like was not consistent posting on Instagram, was not consistent like reaching out to ideal clients. I was also, my prices were like silly low. Like there's no way I could, like I wanted to make six figures, but there was no way I could humanly possibly make six figures with my prices, because I was charging like $60 for random one-off sessions. So I didn't even have like a package put together or anything like that. And I had such anxiety about even thinking about raising my prices and being like, people aren't going to pay that. And just so many money blocks. And all of 2019, the revenue I made in my coaching business was like $2,000, which is like, yeah, for the whole year. So
Or
that was
I
that.
made my first
Um,
year girl. I think that's amazing.
so yeah, I was really struggling to like put a formal business together and to be the person I needed to be to have a successful coaching business.
What were some of your biggest wins, do you feel like? Go ahead and share some of your accomplishments.
Yeah, so there's lots of external wins. And so I think some of the biggest ones is I've raised my prices. I was charging $60 per session. Now I'm charging like $2,000 for a 3-month package, $3,000 for a 6-month package, and like feel so in alignment with that. So I've like raised my prices. I'm so much more consistent. So
Are
like literally it's just a habit. It's something I just do. I'm like always post on Instagram. I always am reaching out to clients. I've developed the habits that I need to be successful and like really gotten into my consistency. I've been 11 months totally sober. So that's a huge win. I did not think that would be possible at all,
I
but
remember
I did it.
that.
Yeah. Because before that, I had only gone for 30 days at any one time without drinking. So, and I'm like full time coaching now. So I'm making all my income from coaching, right? So that's huge, because I was working a side job teaching to like supplement my paltry income from coaching. And so I
A
was
lot of
able to
things going on.
stop. I was able to stop teaching, stop doing any of that, and just full time focus on my coaching. Yeah. So those are some of the big wins.
Can you let us know, like, how many clients have you signed since we've been working together?
12, 13. So that's like 14.
14 clients.
Yeah.
That's freaking amazing. And you've raised your
Yeah.
prices like twice
Yeah.
along
Yeah.
the way. And you're no longer selling coaching for $60 an hour.
$60 crap shoots
You're
or
like, who
something.
is that person? I don't even know her.
No, yeah, it's horrifying.
It's okay. I remember selling my first coaching thing for like $29.99 and nobody bought it. So
Yeah.
we've all been there.
Right. It's like it doesn't matter how much it is if you feel weird about it, it's no one's gonna buy it. So you've got to feel
Exactly.
good about what you're doing.
What were some of your biggest inner breakthroughs?
Yeah. Well, one is like just like the money mindset blocks. And there was even so one moment that is like was really important for me in our coaching was when I was trying to launch a group coaching program. I was like, I got this great idea for a group coaching program. And like, intellectually, yes, it was a really good idea. It was like market researchy based and
Mhm.
all of that. And Lexi like wouldn't, she just like challenged me on like, is the reason you're trying to do this because you don't believe in your one-on-one coaching prices? And so you're trying to create a lower price thing. And it like totally was. That was huge because I think a lot of people might not have challenged me on that and just would have been like, oh, what a great idea. Group coaching is awesome. But like she could tell the real reason behind that was because I had my money mindset blocks and I didn't believe in the value of my coaching. And so I was able to really focus my efforts on aligning with my prices. And so now I really just do feel so aligned with my prices. I'm just like, hell yeah, this is what I'm charging. And I can't wait to raise them even more. Really changing a lot of my money story is that's just a huge, huge shift. And then the like not taking anything personally, like when it comes to reaching out to clients, like if they don't respond to my messages, I'm not like, oh, why don't they like me? And all of that, like, just not taking rejections personally and building my resilience. So just really standing in my worth and my value unconditionally and not based on like how much I've worked, not based on anything like that, just really feeling so solid in my own value. And that's just like the hugest internal shift. I think that's all kind of together. Because the real reason that I was wanting to do the group coaching is because my story was people can't afford my prices. So I need to create something totally different. So I would have expended all my energy creating and launching a group coaching program instead of channeling my efforts to work on my money mindset, which is like that's where I needed to spend my time. And so that was really important to do. And I, of course, wanted to avoid that because that's like uncomfortable work. Like another huge benefit of working with a coach as like a coach myself is just like seeing the container that you created and being able to just not like copy, but just kind of be able to take the things that really worked and just like understand really firsthand of because this is the first time I worked with a one-on-one coach.
Mhm.
And so obviously that was really important to do before I was a one-on-one coach. And so yeah, just seeing the container you created, the way that you hold the space and kind of hold me accountable and all of that has been really helpful.
Because your energy really has just shifted. I don't know how many people know your backstory, but you came from like being a doctor, like a legit doctor.
Mhm.
People, I need everyone to hear this right now. That's crazy. And you went from being a doctor to being this digital nomad and creating this whole business. And in the beginning, you had this very much a like hustle mentality.
Mm.
Talk to me a little bit about that. Like, how are you feeling with that? Because I know you're doing so much less and more things are like happening for you now.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge piece too, because there's so much unlearning and it's a process. And I think having someone who would not enable that. So like Lexi would not enable my working hard. She'd be like, okay, but like, what are you doing for self-care? And like, okay, how many hours are you really working? Like, just having someone who was on me to really help me unlearn those habits was huge because it was just my default. So yeah, just kind of learning that it's not about the amount you produce. It's really about the energy behind it. And in order to show up in the energy that's going to attract people to you and in the energy that's going to grow your business, it's so important to rest and have the space and silence to like allow your mind to create. Because if you're always working and everything is scheduled out, you don't have those pause moments to really like create, to let ideas come to you, to have fun and just all of that.
I remember this one time we spoke and I said, like, can you just like do nothing? And you were like, what? Like, what
When
is
it went.
like, what do you mean? Like, I don't want to do nothing. Like, what is nothing going to do for me? And I'm like, nothing is
Yeah.
going to shut your brain up and allow you to like see what you're actually feeling and what's actually coming up for you so that you can show up in your business more productively and more
Mhm.
powerfully. Like
Mhm.
you did this
Yeah.
because you wanted to enjoy your life and like have fun. So
Yeah, and that was important too to like have you really remind me of that. Like, did you leave the hospital to move into a cafe and work 100 hours a week? Like,
I'm
is
like,
that what you did it? Is that what you were trying to do? No, actually no. So like having that reminder.
so who would you recommend this like coaching to?
Yeah, I think anyone who's struggling who's just starting out building a coaching business and they're struggling to with letting themselves down. I think that was one of the biggest things. Like I just felt like I wasn't showing up the way I wanted to. And if you feel like you're not really living up to your full potential, right? It's not necessarily about like needing tons of strategy or any of that, but it's just more about like if you feel like you're not showing up as the person you want to be to build your coaching business. I think that's the biggest part. And if you're struggling with prices and money mindset, definitely. Those are things Lexi's like a boss at because I don't know, you just like stand in the confidence of your prices and like that like trickles down. So yeah, that's a huge one too.
When you first came, you said you wanted to build an empire, and you are like barely scratching the surface of like
Yeah.
what you are going to create. And I'm
Yeah.
so fucking excited for you.
Yeah. And now I feel like I actually know what it's going to take. And I feel like it's really possible. Before it was just like not a silly idea, but just like a word that meant nothing to me. And now I like actually understand. I'm like, oh, this is what it's going to take. I'm going to get there. And if you're asking your clients to pay you money for a coach, like you need to show energetically that you believe in coaching. By doing that, I think that was a huge piece that helped me grow to where I am today by investing in myself.
Heck yes. Well, and doing all the work, of course. Like you've
Mm-hmm.
done so much. Thank you so much. It's been like an absolute pleasure working with you. This whole process has been so fun. You're always smiling all the time.
Sure.
I'm so grateful, and being with you throughout these, what is it been now? Because we worked together
9
9 months,
months. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like has been unreal. And I just want to say thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for always being so supportive, for being there for me, for doing like those crisis calls when I really needed help, all of that. Yeah, I like could not have gotten to where I am if I didn't have your support and your constant guidance and like just kind of bringing me back to my purpose and my like keeping me centered into where I needed to focus and all of that. So I really appreciate your support, your guidance, everything.